Um, this is a video for ENTPs. For ENTPs, I'm talking to the other ENTPs out there. Anyone who's interested, of course, but I'm specifically talking to the ENTPs who are considering or have served in the United States military. Read the title; that's pretty obvious. I understand the video quality is shit. I don't care. This is on my laptop camera. It's an Inspiron, so it's not. It's made for gaming. It's not made for this. I am an ENTP who joined the United States Marine Corps. Now, there's another guy on YouTube, Bailey Neverner, Nevener. I don't know if that's his real name. It might be, it might not. Either way, cool name. I hope it is your real name because it's a badass name. It would look cool in a uniform. Who talks about ENTPs in the military and hit a lot of things really hard on the head. He's Navy, I'm Marine Corps. We're a little bit different. Specifically, first off, I joined back in 2011, December 2011. I wanted to join all the way back in 2009, but it took me like a year to get in because of some funky recruiter stuff. I scored high on the ASVAB, and so they slated me into a specific. ASVAB is the Marine Corps, or the military intelligence test. And it decides what roles you can apply for in the military. I qualified for all of them, and so your recruiter will use you to fill spots. And if you're an ENTP, you probably do too. We tend to be intelligent people. We tend to be, like he said, I think the ASVAB is very friendly to people like us. It asks things that ENTPs are good at, like questions that a sensing person might not get, but an ENTP would obviously understand, even if they don't understand it. Which sounds funky, but like you may never work on engines in your entire life. But one of the questions I had on my test was, how many cylinders in a V8? 8. You don't have to know anything about engines to be able to figure that out, if you think about it. The only information you have about the engine is there's a V, there's an 8 in it, so it's probably 8. Just questions like that, questions that are easy to figure out if you have the right type of brain. And I think that they were very friendly to our types of brain, I think, like you said. Anyway, I'm going to get off topic a bunch of times, so heads up. We're long-winded people. So my recruiter used me to slate me into a specific MOS. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, so it took me a while to get in. I thought I was going to straight to Iraq the whole way, and obviously that didn't happen. We're not even in Iraq anymore. Well, we are, but via drones. But anyway, I digress. If you're an ENTP, you can understand why the military is not a very friendly choice for you. You have to be very organized, and you have to be very disciplined, and if you don't show up to work on time, you don't get fired, you go to fucking jail. And so there's a lot of reasons why it's very unfriendly to people like us, especially down at like the boot camp level, where it's really easy to screw up, and you're constantly being monitored and you're constantly being watched. It's actually, I almost think that they do it to weed us out as early as possible, or weed those of us out that can't cut it as early as possible, because the way that they do things, they've been doing it in some cases for 245 years, and you can't change it. And we all want to find a better way, or at least a different way to do things. Just to do it, just to try it different. And that's not an option. You have to do it that way. And he talked about some of the things you're taught. It's so simple that you are looking for the trick. You are looking for the rub, and there isn't one. There is no trick. They are literally just testing you to see if you can do something in the simplest possible way. And it drives us crazy because it's so stupid simple that it's like, how could I possibly screw this up? And because you're looking for the trick, because you're looking for the rub, you screw it up. It's hilarious, but it's true. It happens. So you do it wrong the first time, but you'll get it right the second time as soon as you figure it out. And eventually you do figure it out, or you get out. And you really do like either figure it out or kill yourself, or get out. They tell you can't get out every single step of the way. You can get out at every single step of the way. That's a lie. Even if you're 3.5 years in, you can still get out. Don't, make it to the 4 years, but you can still do it. I am actually still in, by the way. Obviously, the beard and the hair. I'm in active reserve now. You're in for 8 years, not for 4. I'm in year 5 right now. But anyway, just want to talk a little bit about the United States Marine Corps and ENTPs. You have to change a lot of things about yourself. As a result, I think the Marine Corps made me a lot more introverted than I was. Made me a lot more comfortable being alone. Made me a lot more comfortable being with myself. And there's a million opportunities to be extroverted. Tons of chances to go and do things that you've never done and go to places you've never been. And you get to do amazing, breathtaking things. I can't tell you the amount of times I just stopped and looked at where I was and just considered that I got to be there, that I got to do that. I was a West Coast Marine, and when West Coast Marines finish boot camp, they become Marines at the end of boot camp when they climb the Reaper. The Reaper is this big-ass mountain, and you climb it at the very end of the Crucible, and the Crucible is 52-hour-long field op where you hike about 45 miles with 2 MREs over the course of something like 52 hours. And the very last thing you do is this insanely hard hill that you sprint up. And once you reach the top, you become a Marine. And halfway up the mountain, I just stopped and turned around and just looked. Because it was breathtaking that I got to be one of those people that climbs the Reaper. That was so cool to me. And most people, they don't think about it. They don't stop and take that mental picture. And you do, you get to have that introspection. You get to have that moment that not everyone has. And it's amazing in those respects. But in all of the things like uniformity, very important. Discipline, really important. Organization, extremely important. Doctrines are really important as well, and we do those for certain reasons. I don't want this video to be too long, but I really don't care. This is just for those of you who want to hear it. So there's a lot of emphasis and energy putting into making sure that everyone does the same thing the same way. And there's a couple reasons for that. You want everyone to look the same and act the same. As a commander, it's very useful because if your guys end up cut off from you without communication, or you just have 800 people and you can't manage them all, or even just 13 people and you can't manage them all at once, it's convenient if you know what everybody's going to do, if you know what all their training is by heart yourself, because you don't have to wonder. You know where they are. You know what they're doing. And for ENTPs who always want to do something better or at least different, that's a problem. Because then your commander doesn't know where you are. He doesn't know how to find you. He doesn't know what's going through your head. You're off doing your own fucking thing. Your OFP, own fucking program. And that's a problem for him. There's also the issue of a modern day issue. If you pretend for a moment that you're a sniper in Afghanistan, watching, in this case it would be the Army, since there's really no Marines operating there these days, outside of Spec Ops, as far as I know. Pretend for a moment that you're watching 13 soldiers just do a patrol. They don't really do ground patrols that often, but just pretend for a moment that you're watching 13 soldiers walk through the desert. One of them is the medic, right? The Army medic. We have corpsmen in the Navy. By the way, shout out to Bailey, Department of the Navy, fucking men's department of the military. Fuck yeah, hoorah, kill. anchors away. Anyway, so you're a sniper in Afghanistan watching 13 soldiers walk through the desert, and one of them is a medic. Well, according to the Articles of Warfare and the Geneva Convention, medics are non-combatants, which means they don't carry guns. So you're watching 13 guys who walk through the desert, and they're so far away that you can't see their rank. It's a little tiny symbol on an Army uniform. On a Marine Corps uniform, it's a little tiny symbol right here, but we have our flak on, so it's usually a little tiny symbol right here. A lot of times we don't even wear it. Not our flak, not so people can see it. They don't need to know what fucking rank we are. We know what rank we are. So the sniper can't tell who's what rank or who's in charge or who's the platoon leader or anything like that because they're all spread out and he could be in any spot. So he just looks for the different guy, the special guy. Anyone who's different is special. Makes sense, right? So in this case, the medic doesn't have a gun. He's the only guy without a gun. So the sniper aims for the medic. You don't want to stand out. You don't want to be the special guy. They don't want you to be the special guy, and they don't want you to stand out. They want everyone to look the same, everyone to act the same. So the sniper or any combatant whatsoever doesn't think you're special. In the Marine Corps, we started handing our medics, our corpsmen, rifles. So snipers would quit shooting them. Because I know how to put on a tourniquet and stop bleeding and all that stuff. But the medic's a lot better than I am. And so if anyone's going to get shot, I really hope it's not my fucking medic. So there's a lot of emphasis put on not standing out, not being different, not doing anything different than anyone else, even when you're in charge. You don't want to look different. You don't want to act different. You don't want to seem different. You don't want any different symbols on your uniform. You don't want any funky things hanging off your pack. You don't want like a stuffed animal hanging on there from your little sister or something like that. Which is something, I always want to have. Why not? It's cool, right? It's fucking like Born to Kill and fucking Full Metal Jacket. No, you don't want to be different. You don't want to stand out because that's the guy the sniper's going to pick. That's the guy the bomber's going to pick. That's the guy they're going to pick when they decide who to kill. And if you're high enough rank to make that choice and no one stops you, it's how you lose your boss in a firefight. It's how you completely lose organization. So there's a lot of emphasis put on that. For ENTPs who are considering joining the Marine Corps, first off, I want to say, don't. Don't join the Marine Corps. But you're probably not going to listen to that. I know that I wouldn't have. But I am being serious here. It's not designed for you. Not at the low levels. If you do decide to join going into the intelligence department, going into the engineering department, going into a high or a special program like those, be a crypto analyst, be something along those lines. Because if you go in as a grunt or if you go in as a base MOS, it's going to be very difficult for you. Uniform inspections, room inspections, wall locker inspections, all these inspections, that's all the grunts have to do with their fucking time half the time when they're in the United States. When you're overseas, you might do great, but when you're in the States, you're going to fucking want to kill yourself. Because it's just going to be uniformity, same thing for months, for years possibly. So if you can, go for a special program. Aim as high as you can, as fast as you can, and believe it or not, you will hit it. Or you won't, and who cares? You can fail as many times as you want in training. The one time you can't fail is when you're not in training. You only fail fucking once. So fail as many times as you can in training. Reach as high as you can in training. As soon as you get into boot camp, the worst advice I ever got was to try and fly under the radar in boot camp, and I regret it to this day. I never tried to fly under the radar ever again because I naturally stand out. My name stands out, the way I talk stands out, the way I act stands out, the way I think stands out. Don't don't try and fly under the radar. Second you go into boot camp, immediately start trying to be the guide, immediately start trying to be the squad leader, immediately start trying to be the scribe, immediately try and get some special goal. Be a ninja, be whatever the hell they call you. Everybody's a little bit different. Or all the divisions and the platoons and the programs are a little bit different. All drill instructors are a little bit different, but try and be in one of the special programs right away, as quick as possible, and make that clear. Be vocal about it. You're gonna get fucked up, and everybody gets fucked up in boot camp. It's gonna suck whether or not you do it. But if you do it, at least you won't be bored. At least you won't fucking have nothing to do. At least you'll have the ability to do something to make a difference with your time there. I really wish I had, and I did it in combat school, and it paid off. I was a squad leader in combat school, and I was a fucking shitbag in boot camp. And it's because I tried to fly under the radar in boot camp, and then after boot camp I realized it was a horrible decision, and so I tried to stand out in combat school, and that paid off. I made some bad decisions in combat school besides that, but being a squad leader was one of the best decisions I made. Like in my entire career, I learned more. I did more. I had more fun. You know, everybody got to throw a grenade in combat school. I got to go 3-3. You know, shit like that. You know, everybody got to shoot a grenade launcher like 10 times in combat school. I got to shoot like 30. You know, shit like that. Like, fuck yeah. Because if, you know, you're the squad leader, they let you do extra shit. You have more responsibilities? Yeah, you do. Do you have to be a better hiker? Yeah, you do. I was a fat nerd. I am a fat nerd. I was a fat nerd in high school. I was a fat computer geek. And the Marine Corps forced me to change that. And 4 months into the Marine Corps, I was a beast of a hiker leading fucking 13 trained killing machines through combat ops. Or combat training. Gives you the opportunity to do a lot very quickly. But you have to reach for it. You have to want it, and you have to ask for it. And you have to be vocal. And so try and stand out. You're gonna stand out anyway. Like, so fucking try and stand out. Aim for it. Aim to be the best. Aim to be the fucking guy everybody's talking about. If you're not the, you know, something I realized is I was not, and I was never going to be, and I never was, as physically capable as everyone else. The one time was combat school, where I became a monster hiker just because I got continuously fucked up in boot camp. I became a really good hiker, and my knees probably screwed up for the rest of my life. Don't get any money for it, but, you know, whatever. Didn't ask for it. Anyway, I realized that I wasn't going to be the most physically fit guy while I was in the Marine Corps. Not the most one in any platoon. I was always going to fall somewhere in the middle, just because I don't like working out that much. You know, I fucking hate running. I have a certain body type, you know what I mean? Things like that. But I was smart. And I realized very quickly that I was one of the smartest guys in the fucking military, at my rank at least. And so I decided to use that. I did my best to try and think my way around problems. And the only time I ever had the opportunity to do that was when I was in charge or when I was the second in command. And I think for ENTPs, that's the sort of magical spot, is becoming the second in command. Because if you get a good leader, and there's a lot of shitty leaders in the military, you can't fire people. So you got to put that asshole somewhere, even if he's a shitty asshole. You know, once he hits the rank of staff sergeant, it takes like 3 congressmen to get rid of him. So they got to put him somewhere, and you might just get stuck with that asshole. So wait for the good leader, but try and get to be where you're talking to him seriously and openly. If you get that guy that will listen to you, if you get that guy that will talk to you and will work with you, and this will, I suppose, up the higher ranks in your staff sergeant and thing like that, you want to be the one next to the officer. Then when he proposes a plan, something you're really good at doing is being the devil's advocate. That's one of the titles of the ENTP. And so you can immediately bombard his plan with a million problems. He says, we're going to do it this way, and this is how we're all going to do it. And then as soon as everyone leaves, you look at him and you say, okay, what about this that I all just thought up right now? And, he may have thought of 5 of those 20 issues, but you just hit him with 15 more that he didn't think of. And so if you have a commander that does listen to you, if you have someone in charge that does listen to you, you're indispensable to him very quickly. And you make him better if he realizes it. I got lucky in that about 2.5 years into my career, I got someone like that. And he was a god. He didn't need my help. But he did appreciate it, and he did tell me that. And he's gone on to do better things. And if I had stayed in the military, I probably would have followed the same program he did. He went counterintelligence. And I would highly recommend that if you're an ENTP and you want to stay in the military more than 4 years, start looking at that. Your second year in, start looking at things like counterintelligence. Start looking at things like that, because that was a fucking awesome program. Go as high as you can, as far as you can, as fast as you can, into the most special programs, special training, anything you can get. But you got to be good at your base work. Otherwise, no one's going to take you seriously. You got to be a base Marine. You got to be a base sailor. You got to be a base soldier, airman, or whatever, before anyone's going to look at you for any of those programs. So just do the simple shit, then immediately start driving for the special programs, asking right away, and don't shut up about it. Keep asking, keep asking, keep asking, keep asking, because one day they're going to get an opening, and they're going to fucking think of the guy who's been asking about it nonstop. Do I recommend the military? No, I don't recommend the military to any ENTP. Can it be a good choice? Absolutely. But you're going to want to fucking kill yourself. Dead serious about that. You're going to want to fucking kill yourself, because it's going to suck at first. If you stick with it, it can get better, but most of the guys I know that were like me did not make it that far. Most of them got out. They tell you that you can't get out, but you can. If you just ask and you stick with it, they will let you out. You might get a general discharge or whatever, but you can. I didn't, and I'm very happy that I didn't, and it's something I have for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna fucking go to some free college because of it. Actually, I got paid to go to college. However, it's not for everyone, and I'm not gonna tell you to fucking do something that's gonna make you want to kill yourself. You can do a lot of good there, but it is not a friendly environment to you. Not at the low ranks. You need to get up there as quickly as possible. And you can get up there. If you try, you will succeed. If you make it that far, you fucking will make it. I really mean that. Everything I tried, everything I seriously tried, I succeeded at. And like I said, I was a fat nerd in high school. I was a fat computer geek. For some reason, the second I joined the military, I fucking became totally computer illiterate. Don't know why, but that is just sort of how it works out. God, this video is fucking long. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the Marine Corps. So you can do it. Just fucking, it sucks. Like really bad. Oh, and if you're a chick, maybe give it a shot. Be surprised. They're pretty friendly to girls in the Marine Corps. Not physically. If you break down, like your hip bones break or something from all the hiking, not much anyone can do about that. It's not your fault. It's not their fault. Just, you're out. But mentally, they're looking for you. They want the girl that challenges. And is it going to be a pain in the ass your entire career? It was a pain in the ass for me in my entire career. I don't think it'll be any different for you. So good luck.